Great to be back with a LinkedIn Live session featuring Tracify. Today was Niels, and great. I knew you were wearing your hat, Niels. Great to have you here. I think, as I told everyone in the description, I hope you were not bothered. I told everyone you're a dinosaur of the e-commerce business, because everywhere I go, I see you at any fair. So I think you're also a very well recognized person in our business. So, and maybe to those who don't know you, can you please tell everyone who you are and what you're doing?
100%. First of all, again, thank you for being here. I'm really looking forward to this session. Big kudos, by the way, on the announcement, wearing a hat. Loved it. It suits you really well. In short, my name is Niels Bergmans. I'm a Dutch guy living in the beautiful city of Eindhoven, which is in the southern part of the Netherlands. I work as a partner manager at Tracify, and for the past 7 years, I've been doing nothing else as building up and scaling partner management teams for e-commerce, mainly businesses. In short.
Cool. Yeah, great. Amazing. You're currently working for Tracify. And I think not everyone already knows Tracify, but I have to admit, so you're having a great solution, and you're also one of our primary partners in the technology sector. And as we're currently also looking very much on AI-driven solutions, can you maybe also tell a little bit more about what is Tracify doing and what's the asset of using the solution?
Yeah, 100%. So to keep it short and simple, Tracify is a data-driven AI tracking tool that can create complete and complex customer journeys. Two unique things that we have created in that AI is that we can track people cross-X, meaning we can track you cross-device, cross-session, cross-channel, and cross-platform, which means that we can see whether you're using an iPhone on day 1, a laptop on day 5, and when you buy something, you do that on your tablet while you're watching Netflix. The unique thing behind that is that we are GDPR compliant, we don't need any cookies, and we don't need any consent. So, little secret again, we can track iOS users and showcase that in your overall customer journey.
Cool.
Not bad.
So it's amazing, right?
It's
please, where do you come from? Tell us, because you're not speaking in German, we speak in English here, and we have a lot of fans from Germany. So business context and everything. So say more about you and your wonderful country, where you live.
So, like I mentioned, I'm a Dutch guy. I live in Eindhoven, close to the German border.
Close to the German border?
German. Sorry?
Yeah, close to the German border.
Yeah, genau. Like 1.5 hours with a car, I'll be in Düsseldorf or Köln. So that's.
But where it is?
Eindhoven.
Eindhoven. Oh, I'm a big fan from Eindhoven. I was there for 1,000 times. So, yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Also for soccer. Not only for shopping, also for dinner, for lunch, for soccer, because I worked for Dutch companies for 3.5 years.
Nice. Then in that case, Eindhoven region is quite strong. You have, like you said, food, drinks, and a good football club, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And close to the border, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I really love. I think it is a big compliment, because my colleagues from the Netherlands, in every case, they said, Marcus, you are not a German guy, you are a Dutch guy, and you can say "Godverdamme" in such a way. So that is why they really love me, and I'm a big fan from Kipcorn and everything. I can eat it every day. So
I can imagine. I just the fact that you know some words in Dutch will do really well with the listening Shopware Dutch community. So you make special points with them, I guess.
I can say "Zwarte koffie's und alles" and everything. Perfect. So yeah.
Your Dutch is almost as good as my German.
Yeah. The problem is I worked for Betabed and for Axel. Axel was the second biggest producer from bikes worldwide, and Betabed, it was a market leader in Europe for mattresses. So both are Dutch companies, but in every case, the language was English. So in every case, they said spend no time for German, spend no time to learn Dutch, because we are international companies and we have one language, and that is English. And then I lived in Amsterdam, and I asked for Dutch, but no one was possible, because no one was speaking Dutch. everyone was speaking in English. So yeah, so I think the people from Germany, they can learn a lot from that, because if you would like to make international business, you have to speak in English. If you would like to have people from everywhere, so that you can work with them, you have to speak in English. So I really appreciate that we can speak in English today.
Thank you very much. I think, like you said, 95% of the Dutch people speak Dutch. If they hear you're a foreigner, they will automatically switch into English. I've experienced it a couple of times when I went to the headquarters of Tracify in Munich, that I try to speak in German all the time, but sometimes you just can't make it. Then if you start to speak German, they're looking like, wait a minute, you're not from around here, especially in certain dialects in Germany. That's sometimes a bit difficult. If people are saying "moin" for the first time or servus, that was for me getting used to a bit, but yeah.
But for us, it's sometimes the same. If we have appointments with people from Baden-Württemberg, sometimes I don't understand what they mean. I'm really not. So I think, and if I drink a beer with them, after 10 beer, I don't understand anything. So it is. So let's speak about business. Let's move back to our business appointment. Boris.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, great. I mean, Niels, you have already explained a little bit about Tracify and also your solution approach. So what I'm always wondering is that how can AI be an added value to any solution that is out there? So, and I see that you have talked about an improved customer journey. You have outlined that different devices can be detected to also then optimize on the customer journey. So can you maybe elaborate a little bit more so that we understand better? So what's the AI impact? So, and what's the real added value that Tracify then can provide? So if you can tell us a little bit more about that would be amazing. Yeah.
100%. So like you mentioned, like AI is booming. AI is big, AI is everywhere. One big challenge that we see being Tracify is that a lot of AI solutions that call themselves a real AI solution more or less have like 20, maybe 30 lines of code working back and forth with APIs, webhooks, maybe some ChatGPT in the middle, and they say themselves, hey, we're an AI solution. Whereas we from Tracify, we have decided to start really with data science background, to really go into that core problem, have a whole science team behind it, and build with the data and move in towards a solution that is usable for merchants and agencies. If you're looking at why Tracify is so strong right now, is the way, first of all, we have to understand a bit how our GDPR compliance works, because of course we need information from people in order to track people. How can it be that our data is GDPR compliant? We don't need any consent. We don't need any cookies. Well, that's basically how we created the online persona X. If you're looking, for instance, at Google or Meta, if they create an online persona, an online ID, they use pseudonymization, which means that only half of their data is being encrypted, being hashed in a certain hashing method. Thanks to a rainbow table, which is a bit of technical knowledge, but thanks to a rainbow table, you can always track back the original input from day one. And this is mainly because of the Cloud Act. Our big friends from America, the NSA, they need to be able to track anything as long as the company is owned by an American, or the server that it's hosting on is in America or owned by an American company. In that case, Tracify fought that off by having a twin setup architecture setup, one unit in Frankfurt, one in München, and we are hosted by a Austrian provider, which means everything is hosted and located in the DACH region. And we do not only do half anonymization, but fully anonymize our data. We don't need to know if you're Marcus, Boris, Victoria, or Susanne. We just need to know that somebody online triggered the customer journey and finished it with a purchase.
Okay,
Having that special setup, we can track that. And there are several ways to tracking. And a lot of people use server-side tracking, sort of fingerprinting, with database information like what fonts you're using, plugins, which order the plugins are installed, screen resolutions, IP addresses, I mean, you name it. We're doing the same. On top of that, we have created with our AI team several unique fingerprints. One that I'm allowed to share is based on the screen size and the speed of that processor. We can determine what processor is being used, whether it's an i5, an i7, an M1, or one of the 100 other ones. Overall, around the 30 to 35 database points we are combining to create always a unique identification. And that's being pushed in our AI, and that will give you the capabilities to really track click one, whether it's that on your iPhone on an Instagram account, or click to, or a direct search or an influencer search via your laptop or tablet. And a good example how, for instance, Meta is not having the same power as we have is that if I would click on my iPhone on an Instagram ad, I would open up my Safari browser. While if I am just using my regular browser, I'm always using Chrome.
Yeah.
Meta cannot make that difference and does not see what's happening. But because of our AI, we can see what's going on, who clicked where, cross-channel, device, platform, and session.
Okay, cool. I think the most important thing is that you are using the right data to also then leverage on the right touch points. So you need to convert them. So that's what I would like to know best. So which of my buyers is on which side is clicking which ads, so that I can really also target them appropriately. So is this the right one of the most important assets that you have, so that the merchant really knows best how to convert the right touch points?
Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head there. Having clean, strong data is step number one to be really able to play around with your customer journey and see what's going on. Meta and Google, for instance, they are making money because of the ads that they sell. So they would love to show you, like, hey, the first touch point was Meta. Oh, but by the way, somewhere in between, they touch us as well. So we also give you a point for last click. But if you cannot know exactly which clicks were valuable in what position and what time of the customer journey, you will be allocating wrong budgets to wrong data. So in that case, with us again, clean data, you know exactly what was the first click, how much time between until the second click, all the way to the purchase. And with that data, with those insights, you can real-time allocate your budget via our tool.
Yeah, cool. That's great. Yeah,
that is what we need today, right? So it's a big question. Every company, what is how we can handle it in the future and how we can become really successful. And you can help with your solution. You can help absolutely.
100%. Yeah. I can promise you that our CSM team and onboarding team is making overhours just before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. All the shops want to have that data plug installed just to make sure that they can track what's going on and utilize that data and real-time allocate budget. One cool story is that one of our brands, they had summer campaigns in both the Netherlands and in Germany. And in one of their ads, they used a beautiful brunette, and in one ad, a beautiful blonde lady. In Germany, they could see during
and the man, because we are diverse and we don't speak about ladies and boys.
Individuals, a blonde individual and a brunette individual. They could see real time that in the super hot days in June and in August, that the blonde ad was performing better than the brunette ad. So they could take away real time their budget from the brunette and invest that same money in the blonde girl. The funny thing is, in the Netherlands, it was the total opposite. The brunette was performing better. And the quality of that data and the speed of that data and the adaptiveness of that can just allocate hundreds of thousands of euros, because you don't have to wait a long enough time which ad is working, what campaign or ad set is not performing well. And you can just real-time play around with that tool.
Yeah, I think
important is the solution also, because I have a lot of friends and they are using Tinder, and I think it is also good to have that picture of yourself. It is working better.
I will have a chat with our product owner. This is a good idea.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, but I think it's just a matter of A/B testing what you're doing, Niels. So a better basis for better A/B testing, because a lot of merchants do A/B tests, and I think they're not considering the right data, and so it would definitely then help with your tool to do it in the right way. So that's cool.
Will definitely speed up the whole process, and we're not getting rid of people because we're just giving you clean real-time data, but you still have to interpret that data yourself and implement it on the platforms that you feel need that attention or new input. So it's a speed booster in that regard.
Yeah, cool. And how good would a blonde or a brunette girl perform if they would wear a hat as well, Niels? So
you don't know.
We never know. Yeah, so we could do that. By the way, when we can definitely come to the next question. So in regards to personal branding, so I just see, for example, Marcus sitting here. Sure, it's an office of Armed Angels. I think Marcus is also very well doing, let's say, his own personal and developing his own personal brand. I mean, sure, we need to talk about your hat and your personal branding, Niels, but also I would love to have a feedback from Marcus. What is important for building up a personal brand? And I just don't mean that, let's say, LinkedIn game post one post every week, 5 days a week or whatever. So what is real the essence of building up a personal brand, Marcus? What do you think?
Yes, I will do it, but at first I will move a step back because I'm really impressed. At the same time, I Google your wonderful company a little bit because yesterday Martin and his wife Fritzi and we had a wonderful dinner at their home, and we spoke a lot about performance marketing because you have a cost increase 10% per year to win a customer. So that is really, really one of the most important things at the moment. How can I be more successful with performance marketing? So and with the tracking problems and with every problems we have. So that is the first. So big thanks to you and that you help us there. So how can I think I hate the word. I don't like it. Personal brand. Because I'm Marcus and I'm only Marcus, so not less and not more. I think it is important that today it is not only enough to speak about your company and how your company can be successful. People would like to follow people, and it's a people game. And to that they can follow people, they have to understand if it's a good guy, it's a bad guy, it is a thought leader or not, and if he has good vibes or not good vibes. So they will. You have to be really open. In the past, you don't told too much to the people. You don't talk about business numbers. You don't talk about what are the really next steps. It was more like a secret. So and today it is a big change. We share everything, what we think, what we feel about business, what is our strategy, what is our next goals, what is our what you can learn from my fails and my winning facts. So and I think if you do that and not like a hero story, you can also say, I'm really lost at the moment. I was lost and it was a hard year. But then I find the answers for me and myself for the restart, and you can also share that. But at the moment, most of the people, they think they make bullshit posts via LinkedIn. Wow, today it was not a good day. It was a hard start, but then 5 minutes later I win the game. So and it is bullshit. So nobody. So and I think if you make it more with good vibes and good feelings and to tell really the truth, and that they can be part of your company because you so open, then you can be a personal brand or Marcus or whatever. And I think it's a big chance because all of us we need good people. So active recruiting, it's a big question how we can solve it. And for us to have a personal brand is really helpful for that. So the next game is to win partners and corporations. And therefore, it is also really helpful to have that. So I think for me, it is so important to spend so much time with the community, and I have a strong team. My team is helping me because it's for me, it is also not possible to answer to make answers for 300 people per day. It's also not possible for me. But in every case, every day, my team speaks with me about what happens today. So and we have clear and we try to give everyone an answer and a solution. So that is what we do.
Cool. And I think also, in addition to what you said, Marcus, authenticity is very important. So if you're authentic, people recognize that. And also, Niels, I bet you're not wearing a hat because you think that is a good thing to be recognized because you wear a hat. I think you just like hats. That's it. And then it became, let's say, kind of your trademark, or isn't it like that?
100%. No, that's 100% true. So actually, to go a bit back, even is when I started off at SendCloud about 4.5, 5 years ago. My hobby was making my own bow ties. So I would make my own bow ties because buying them, they were too expensive, and like they were not always that beautiful. So I started purchase my own fabric or old T-shirts. I would cut them up and then create my own bow tie, and I was known as the tall guy with the bow tie, which is cool if it's winter and it's cold and you have like a pullover with a shirt under it and a bow tie. But in the summer, when it's hot, during Shopware Community Day, for instance, you don't like to be buttoned up all the way there. So I started wearing my hats, because one of my other things I like wearing, because I like to look apart, is a hat. After 4 events, people started to recognize me as the tall lad with the hat.
Yeah.
Whether I was in Madrid for the Ecommerce Expo in Madrid, or at the Ecom Expo or IRX in London or Birmingham, or during the Ecommerce Expo in Berlin, the Mexico, OMR, everywhere I went, I had my hat, and that became a trademark to know, like, hey, wait a minute, that tall guy, that's the partner manager from Tracify in this case.
Yeah, amazing. That's a good story, I think. How that also combines. I mean, maybe people do not relate that much to names, but knowing you, very simple. The guy with the hat. I mean, also you're quite tall. I think. What's
2
your
meters.
2 meters? Well, wow, that's huge. And then a hat as well. So that's definitely recognizable.
It is.
Yeah, I think it combines different things, because you always have a good thing to talk about. Yeah. So when they approach you, yeah, I recognize you, and then you easily can jump into a conversation. So that makes it definitely very easy. So
sometimes it's also a challenge, because people recognize me as the tall lad with the hat. I always remember them, like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, sure.
Yeah,
it's a good. I think it is good to have that. Then can people see you and they know, hey, that is Niels. I understand that. It's good to have that. In my case, it is my bike, right? So in the past, it was Marcus, a bike rider, and the work-right balance. In every case, you need it. And so it's good. Good.
I think, and because the bike fits with you, that's authentic. That's the real you. And like you just said, like the fake accounts, like, oh, I'm doing so bad. Oh, look at me, I'm the first life wonder. There are too many people that try to quick win a personal brand, in my opinion, that make those type of posts, or for instance, go to a really nice setting and stage pictures or stage videos in a way too nice environment. And if you do it like that, it's a basic thing. If you see a really beautiful ad, you know it's something to sell. And that's the same with personal branding, and the people that try to make their own personal brand online, selling their product or their team. Like you said, Marcus, originally you would sell your company. Now you have to sell yourself. But don't sell yourself as your company. Then you miss the whole game. There you go.
And you see my armed angel socks here, right? So you see it. And
Nice.
my 100% armed angels, right? If I made stuff, for me it is important, because for me passion is so important, and I can't work and I can't be successful without passion. That is really a big problem, because I know a lot of managers, they can do that in a professional way. They don't need passion for that. They make, hey, I'm a goalkeeper, and I can do it. There's no need to laugh the club, right? For me, it is completely different, because for me, at first, I need the passion, really like that. And if I have the passion, then I can be successful. So, and then the people feel that, oh, Marcus, it's not like a job, it is a passion.
And then you stick again to your personal brand around that, because you have that energy. You have a different glow, a different energy around you that is contagious. And people like to work with contagious, energetic people that give positivity and a good mindset. If you have all of that combined, then things can move forward really fast.
Yeah. In addition to that, personal branding need also to fit to your role. So
You cannot fake it.
People wouldn't believe that you are putting all your efforts and authentically telling everyone that Armed Angels is giving you also back the passion that you provide, if you wouldn't have, let's say, a more authentic personal brand, or let's say personality, I would call it more, during the past years, as everyone knew that you have given 100% for Rose Bikes and all the other companies like Shopware in the past. So, and this is then also something where I would say Armed Angels also needed a person like you, Marcus, in this position, as well as I would say that Niels, with his authenticity, needs a company like Tracify, so that needs to be a match. So being authentic and working, for example, for a company that is producing, I don't know, pollutions clothes, for example, in sweatshops in the third world wouldn't also fit for you, for both of you.
Yeah, for me, Boris, it is the same, because I know Boris since 2.5 years, I think, or 3 years. So, and for me, he's such a great example, because if you see Boris and you hear what he's saying, he lives also the passion for Shopware for 100%. You can have an appointment in Cologne. He is Shopware, and so that is so amazing to have people like him in our wonderful team, which such a great passion. So I'm really big fan.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Great. I mean, if we talk about passion, I mean, Niels, you also have a passion for partner management. So, and but I was just wondering. So, I mean, with your ambitions, with your efforts, you could it's so easy just be a direct sales, a business developer, a manager for a company, whatever. So, and I was just curious because we never talked about that, Niels. What's your passion for partner management? What's behind?
I think that's intrinsically motivated at one point. To give a bit of context, I studied marketing communications. My thesis and specialism was in personal branding, thought leadership. I rolled into sales by accident, actually. So I was selling software here in Eindhoven for a startup, which went quite well. But at one point during the sales, I started to realize, like, I mean, I can start calling like 50 or 80 shops per day, which takes a shitload of time. And after like 4 hours of calling, your throat starts to hurt really bad. What would happen if I would call companies that work with the people that I need to sell things to that will sell it for me? Yeah. So I started to dive a bit into that topic. The company where I was working at that time, he said, like, yeah, no, instead of 5,000 euros for an event, I would like to pay 5,000 euros for Google to get reach. So that was not a match. At that point, a good friend of mine, Roland Janssen from SendCloud, was working at SendCloud, and he was expanding his team of partner management. And he said, Niels, I am going to be more on the strategic integration level. I need someone to open up the whole channel industry, so the agency landscape of e-commerce for SendCloud.
Yes.
Be interested. And I said, let's go. So Ronald and I, we started off building that whole partner management pipeline, generating a shitload of cool deals and business back in the day. And I think, like you said, the passion, during my first half year at SendCloud, I started to feel like, normally people say, oh, I made work out of my hobby. I did it the other way around. I started working and I made a hobby out of my work, because I started to realize that I'm good at this, bringing people together, building up a network, connecting those people who might need each other for a certain solution, left or right, and doing that with a personal brand. And I think that's the whole step-by-step process into me being here now, almost 6 years later at Tracify, building a whole new partner program again, and building out that network internationally is also quite important to realize.
Yeah, amazing. I think you have a lot of common with Marcus. So because Marcus is also doing such things, so connecting people, but this is just one of his side aspects, as he's just good in connecting people, but he's also a great manager. So what I would say, Niels, can you maybe share some essences of building a good partner management structure because I can imagine that a lot of companies also listening to this series here right now and think of, yeah, cool. I mean, SendCloud, as I think #1 in shipment in Europe, has developed quite well. So even by also because you were on board, and I know Roland also very well. So he's also a really really great guy. So I can imagine it's people business, as we already talked about it. But what's the real essence? Is it also structure, hiring the right people? What can you share?
We can make another session of 5 hours straight about this topic alone. How do you start? What's important? When I do consultancy, a lot of times the first thing I ask is, what is your reason to jump into partnerships being a vendor in e-commerce? What is your reason? Do you want to test out a new product? Do you want to open up a new feature line? Do you want to expand with a go-to-market into, for instance, the DACH region or in the UK or Benelux? Or is it more money? Do you just want to grow more revenue and get more leads in? The last situation, if they just want to get more leads in, is also one of the most difficult ones, because then the timeline that you can prove partner management for a company is really small, because most commercial leaders want revenue, new deals coming in, and close business the moment you touch base. If you know that it is, then okay, no problem. The goal is to build a channel partnership with a lot of agencies that bring in new business. But then before you can do that, you know what your goal is, but what is the success you can define? Step one, next to that, so that's basically step two, define what would success look like for your partner management team. Would that be adding 50 agencies in a certain niche, in a certain region in 1 year? On top of those 50 agencies, I want to have a LinkedIn reach of 30 or 40,000 views or comments. Would that be 300 referred deals? Would it be a conversion rate of 20% of all deals that come in via a partner? Would that be less churn because the partners take care of the merchants? So there's a lot of questions before really starting that structurizing step. So if you have all that set, then it's all about structure. What tools are we going to use? How are we going to communicate with partners? How are they going to refer it? How are we communicating back? What's the status of the deals? How much tier commissions do they get? What type of tier levels do we need? So there's, like I mentioned, a lot of things to drop base even before you really can get started to partner management.
Yeah, amazing. Great to share that you share that. I think that's very important to a lot of people out there, because I know a lot of companies who are just right now into just direct sales, and it takes a lot of effort. So I can talk a lot about that, because I'm also more than 20 years in direct sales, and know that it really takes a village to close a deal. But more important, I think, is building up structures that help you to leverage potential as well. And let's say having a group of, let's say, companies that help you to achieve your targets and grow as desired into, let's say, according to the specific goals that you have predefined. That's, I think, something that is stunning. And it also then feels like winning in as a team. So because
100%.
Yeah.
For instance, the strategy that I implement now for Tracify is that we have two types of partners. One is the e-commerce partner, implementing Shopware 6, taking care of the shop, maintaining it, etc. Those partners quite often talk with the merchants. They have a pain point on marketing level. What those Shopware agencies mostly do is they refer the business to us. We help the merchant along the way to show the whole process, the onboarding, etc. On the other hand, we have more active partners, as in performance marketing agencies that are specialized in PPC, in Meta, TikTok, Google agencies, you name it, influencer agencies that not only refer us, but actively sell us and implement us and even use us for the merchant. Even knowing those two different groups, they need a different approach, a different enablement approach as well. Take that in account for partner management as well. If you start, what type of partners with what type of IPP, ideal partner persona, do we need to address in what way?
Yeah, cool. Can you maybe share also a fail out there? Because I mean, we talked much about being authentic, and that fails also belong to it. Is there anything specific? I mean, if you do not want to refer to a specific case, just maybe tell the audience to tell what should you avoid, because learning from you is also, we haven't come to that place where we are right now because we didn't make any errors. So we have overcome the situation because we learned from our failures in the past and improved. So that's why I think talking about failures is that important.
I mean, again, we can do a full hour on failures. I think sharing fails is one of the bigger wins for other companies to learn how not to do it. So I'm super open to share that. I will not per se name the company, but there is a generic one. I think Moritz, my CCO, will laugh if he hears this. That was a vendor, an e-commerce vendor that wanted to do a cool event. They already had 3 partners on board, and they were looking for a last-minute fourth party to pitch in and to bring people together. Moritz told me, Niels, take care of it. You do you. So, long story short is, I went after it, but I had a 2-day delay in a reply to one of the partners, which meant that the partners were thinking that we were not going to be joining. So I had to explain why I did not reply fast enough, which was due to events and a busy moment there. But that's one of the examples. Partners, they need to be able to commit to each other and also be able to really upfront and honest say like, hey, you messed up. What are we going to do about it to not make that happen next time? And I think that was one of the examples which is a fail for me. In the end, we still sponsored, we were there, it was a great event, but just not being sharp for just one moment in that process of setting up together with the partner, that can be quite damaging. Like I said, I had the good luck that we managed to get everything on time in the right place. But if that would not have happened, that would be not only a bad stain for me as a personal brand, but also for the company. So be sharp and open in communication is one of the big tips that I would say to prevent big fails. If you like something to do together, share that. If you don't like to do something together, also just be open and not let the other people wait for weeks or days or even hours if there is speed of the essence.
Cool. Yeah, amazing. I mean, communication.
Yes, absolutely. And at the same time, I can show you what I do, because in every case, you see here's your link, and I'm writing with Martin from Amt Angels. Take a look to that. Yeah, you see, in every case, I do it twice. So because if I hear interesting stuff, I think I have to share it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Cool. That's also a great communication skill, by the way. So Marcus is always doing that. So he's really fast thinking, connecting people. And I think that's also one thing that makes up your person, Niels, and makes also the success, because the situation that you have just described wouldn't have been solved if you wouldn't be able to communicate well, taking the people with you, explaining things. I think that's important. And also sticking to, yeah, I made a mistake. Can we move on? I think also this is something that not a lot of people can do out there. So, but it's a strong asset.
I fully agree with that. Thanks for that. 100%. Ego sometimes is your biggest enemy in those cases. And I've learned the hard way, never go for ego, be humble,
Yes.
Give the situation as it is and move forward. Fail fast, fail forward.
Cool. Yes.
Yeah, amazing. I think Marcus wouldn't agree more, because this is his mantra, I would say. So that's definitely something that's important. So if you would sum it up, because I think great that we talked about personal branding. Sure, we talked about Tracify, but we talked also about building our partner management structure as well. So Niels, your 3 key takeaways that you would maybe provide our audience out there to those things. So what makes up, building up your great personality out there? What takes it to be successful in this business?
So if we're looking at doing personal branding in e-commerce, for whatever company you work, I think those 3 things are most important. Number 1 is the passion you feel for what you're trying to get out into the world. Mm-hmm. Networking mentality. So always be good to the people around you, because you never know when or how or why you would encounter them along the way.
Yes.
And have a commercial mindset. Be able to really fast switch your mindset on, okay, I'm talking to this guy. This can be interesting for that person, or in this situation, or in that case. So passion, good communication, openness, commercial minded. I think those are
cool. Great.
3 keys of takeaways that I would share.
Yeah, great insights. Couldn't agree more. Marcus, what would be your takeaways?
I think it is really the same, because it's be nice to the people, and not only be nice, think that you can learn a lot from everyone, because every people can. I see Boris, he can that stuff, I can make that stuff, and so we can learn together and go forward together. I think that is the right mindset to win the game.
Genau.
Amazing.
Don't think you are better than the rest.
Mhm.
In every case, you have to learn from other people and be
Yeah.
full of
Humble.
respect.
Be humble.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, great. Those are definitely great words to close that session. So thanks a lot. We have now come to 40 minutes. That's exactly the time that we wanted to spend. So great kudos to Niels. Great job. So great impression. You're definitely a great guy. And we have been very happy to have you here in the session. Also, thanks to Marcus. Best of luck, by the way, to all that you're doing currently with Armed Angels, a great company, a great Shopware customer. And
Absolutely.
I'm sure that you will definitely, bring it to the table there and boost the business of Armed Angels.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you very
Thanks.
much, gentlemen. Have a
Bye-bye.
good one.